I'm Dawn Calvert. My husband Sean and I have been a part of Friends of Church off and on for over 20 years, but we've been consistently attending Elyria Friends Church since we opened. Sean and I both work in Elyria, and we had moved from North Ridgeville to Oberlin, so this is closer to our home and our work, and we thought, what a great way to be more impactful in the community we're already in every day. Mm-hmm. Coming from a larger church to a smaller church, it forced us to be more interactive and really meet people and talk to people and get to know them better. And for us, it's just been a blessing to have that tight-knit church family. In early February, I went to the emergency room with what I thought was an infection that was rapidly getting worse. I really didn't think it was a big deal or anything to be overly concerned about. But when I got there, we found out that there was actually a mass in my pelvis that was causing these symptoms of infection. You know, in the beginning, getting the news that it most likely was cancer and the uncertainty of knowing what kind of cancer and what the future held for me, I initially felt so scared, so anxious. I didn't even know how to pray for myself at that point in time. I was in such shock. And my husband, Sean, was amazing. He immediately thought to contact Pastor David, and we stopped at Elyria Friends Church on the way home from the doctor's office to pray together and be together at that time. That was so scary. And I was just so incredibly grateful for that. In those early days, being carried by the prayers of others was so important and so encouraging, and the only thing we knew to do. There was nothing else to do. There was no book to read or exercise to follow or any to-do list. The only thing we had was prayer. As we moved on and as the initial shock wore off, all the teachings of faith and healing kind of came rolling back to me. And I realized God had given me the tools to go on the offensive. I had what I needed to get through this, through God. So I started every day just immersing myself in the Bible. God's word really, honestly, in the most literal sense, became the bread of life. It was the sustenance we needed to get through the scariest time in our lives. The hardest thing was surrendering to God's will, to know that this outcome might not be what I wanted it to be, but that God was there and He was supporting me every step of the way, and that His will would be accomplished in the end. It took 6 long, scary, anxiety-inducing weeks, a series of tests and biopsies, multiple biopsies, to determine finally that it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the good news of that is that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is a highly treatable, even curable cancer with a great prognosis. You hear, you read in the Bible, you hear God's word, and you understand that church is His blessing for us, that it is the way He wanted us to experience His word together. But when you are facing something so scary and so big and life-altering, you really come to understand what that means. People showed up. I mean, people were amazing. We received phone calls, text messages, gifts. People sent me scarves to cover my now bald scalp. I really felt like it was God working through those people. I can honestly say that the blessings of going through this have been tremendous. It has been the most rapid period of growth in my adult life that I've had, and it's been an incredible blessing. I think, as Pastor Jeff likes to say, I know that I know that I know that God has plans for me, and they're not to harm me, but they are for hope in the future. And I know that deep in my soul. And I will carry that with me for the rest of my life. I finished treatment in July and was determined to be in complete remission in August. Cancer scares everybody. The word is so scary. And to show that you can there's grace and there's compassion and there's support through Jesus is something that resonates with most people once they hear that you've been through something so scary. I was in the Cleveland Clinic gift shop one day when I was at one of the days I was getting treatment. And I saw a keychain and it said, "Shine your light." And I bought it because I thought, God is leading me to shine my light in whatever way that means, to reject the fear of failure, the fear of rejection or criticism, and to just be out there, to shine your light and to share my testimony of the work He's done in my life with others.